Yeah, what's going on, guys? We'll be back on the Madden, and today we got a bunch of new stuff. Actually, not just today, but as of the past couple days. So I'm going to do my best to try and go over it with all of you beautiful people. So first of all, this happened today. Actually, we got more stuff in the Milestone sets. If you guys aren't doing Milestones, I don't even know what to say, because if you got cards sitting around, you might as well do these Milestones. So today we got some Football Outsider ones that came out. We're going to start off with Mark Barron. Now, Mark Barron, he is actually a coverage linebacker, and he's going to be able to get hot hands through this, just like Deion Buchanan was. But the thing is, you got to keep in mind that Mark Barron is technically a left outside linebacker. So if you give Mark Barron hot hands because you're using him at middle linebacker, and then you move him middle linebacker, unless you have another player in your lineup in the correct position with hot hands, you're not going to be able to use the hot hands trait or the coverage linebacker trait. You got to keep that in mind. But if you did have someone else with hot hands at their correct position, then he would get his hot hands boost because it's an elite trait, so he would still get the boost for it. It's kind of weird how it works. But because the hot hands trait is already active because one of your starters has hot hands, then he'd be able to use his hot hands even if he's out of position. But that's just something to keep in mind. I know Mark Barron's a good user card, but like I said, if you're putting him out of position at middle linebacker or something along those lines, you're not going to be able to use his hot hands or his coverage linebacker trait. Then we have Jordan Hicks, who is actually field general, and he's getting a coverage linebacker trait as well for this set. He's an 85 overall, so he might actually be worth it, to be honest. Just to put him as your second middle linebacker position if you're running a 4-3. Then you got two traits going on, and he's probably decently cheap to get this set done. So field general and coverage linebacker. I mean, if you're using like a Sean Lee or someone else at coverage linebacker, or maybe even Deion Buchanan as your starter, or maybe you got yourself a Mark Barron, then you're gonna be able to get him the boost. And field general, you know, there are tons of players with field general. Whether you got that Jadeveon Clowney, or whether you got that new Sean Taylor over top. You know, there's a bunch of people with field general, so he's going to help out with that as well. And I'm sure he's decently cheap, so this is someone to look into just to have him there for your for chemistry purposes. And we got Brandon Williams, and Brandon Williams is going to end up with line pusher and tackle machine. Now, I don't have a problem with this. I actually kind of like Brandon Williams. He's a pretty good card, to be completely honest. Seems simple enough to do. I might actually do his set myself. Not for 100K, I don't think so. But seems simple enough. If you're sitting on him, might as well do it. I'm sure the set's only been out for a while, or actually for like an hour or so. So I'm sure a lot of people haven't had a lot of time to get these sets done. And then, the one that probably everyone is most excited about got Amari Cooper, so he's going to be able to get route running chemistry on top of his deep threat chemistry, which is pretty nice. I, myself, am not really a fan of the Amari Cooper cards this year. He's going for a crap ton, but he's got very low catching. He only has 86 catching, and you guys are going to see if I compare him to my elite Tavon Austin. They actually have the same catching stats, so that just kind of upsets me. That's why I'm not really a fan of Amari Cooper cards, because his catching is just very low, and there are a lot of dropped balls this year, so I prefer to just not. And then we have Richie Incognito and I don't know, Kelshi Osimo, I think. I don't know, but this one is a pretty good one too. He's probably going for a crap ton because of the battle back, or else I would get him myself. I'm sure he's going, yeah, so he's going for like upwards to 400K for him. Because he's going to end up with Battleback and Zone Blocker, I believe it is, and those are both pretty good traits, so he's going to be going for a crap ton. If you got him in your binder, definitely go for it, because anytime you can add Battleback to a lineman, you're going to end up with a crap ton of money. And I'm sure Richie Incognito is going for a crap ton too, because this is one that I think is probably the most important. Richie Incognito, if you guys don't have the identifier chemistry, I would suggest going and picking up Jason Kelsey or whoever else you can to get this identifier chemistry, because what it lets you do is it actually lets you see your opponent's user on the field before you snap the ball, so you could tell who the user is because it has the little color underneath the player. So because you have the identifier trait, you could see, like, if they click off to a cornerback real quick to make an adjustment, just immediately snap the ball. I know that's like super douchebaggery, but he is well worth it, man. I picked up Kelsey for like 100K or something like that, or Travis Kelsey. No, that's okay. Yeah, Jason Kelsey. I picked him up for like 100K or so. Definitely worth it. He's a freaking glitch. All right, guys. Next we got Legends, and we're gonna be looking at Amon Green, who's actually going for pretty cheap. You guys can see the limited use is only going for about 400. For limited use, the limited time is only going for around 443K. This card actually looks pretty good. I'm gonna quickly compare him to Melvin Gordon. Yeah, Melvin Gordon is mine. So a quick comparison. Their stats are pretty similar. He definitely has a huge advantage over trucking. That's why I was thinking about picking him up myself. But you guys can see he's got 90 speed, at 90 agility, 93 acceleration, kind of weak carrying, which is kind of a buzzkill. But 95 ball carrier vision, which is pretty good, at 90 elusiveness, 93 trucking, and 92 juke move. And he's 6 foot, which is pretty cool too. You know, if you got a chucking back, you probably want to have some. Ooh, he's got some throw power too. But if you got a chucking back, you probably want to have some height to him too. And only an 82 stiff arm though, which is kind of weak. And stiff arm is kind of important, but he is a pretty good blocker as well. You can see he's got 65 impact block right there. So what I actually want to see is his catching. And he does have some pretty good catching stats. He's got 68 catch and traffic, 75 spec catch. That's all that really matters to me. And he's got decent throwing stats. So if you're trying to run that Wildcat, he's your man. But overall, Ahman Green, I would say, is one of the better running backs, and he's pretty cheap. So if you're looking into getting a decently, you know, a luxury card, decently cheap, I would definitely recommend him. I love the battle ready chemistry, and he's got the double bruiser back, so he automatically gets the boost from the bruising back. So he automatically comes with one higher truck, one higher stiff arm, and one higher impact block. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And then we have this goon. We got Sean Taylor. How much is he going for? You could scoop him up for, wow, a milli is how much you're going to have to lash out for him. I, myself, am not going to do that, but you guys can see he's got 92 speed, 94 acceleration. Holy crap, this card is ridiculous. 86 play rec, 88 tackling, 75 man, 88 zone, 93 pursuit, and 95 hit power. So comparing him to the limited Brian Dawkins, you know, he's got the speed advantage, he's got the excel advantage. He's got lower play rec, better tackling, same man, a little bit worse zone. Worse pursuit, and he's got a little bit better hit power. Because of my Brian Dawkins is actually is the same hit power, I believe. Yeah, I think I got the same hit power because I got big hitter tier 2. So he's actually going to have the same hit power as him. My Brian Dawkins is actually like a 96 overall. So overall, my Brian Dawkins is about the same as Sean Taylor. All I really care about is zone coverage and hit power and having decent speed, and Brian Dawkins is definitely there for that, so I don't have to worry about that. Is this card worth it? Probably not with as cheap as Brian Dawkins is going for right now. I would probably just suggest grabbing Brian Dawkins. That's just me. That's not even me as an Eagles fan. I think personally he's substantially cheaper. You guys can see oh wow, he's actually a little bit more expensive. I picked him up for like 400k yesterday, to be honest. Like it was definitely worth it, but even now I would probably still pick him up over the other one. So yeah, I still have both of them because I'm waiting for the legend packs to be out before I sell the other one. But that's basically what's going on with the legends. And here's the last thing I gotta show you guys. A card I'm actually pretty excited for, going for around 140k. Now this card is definitely something that I'm interested in. The only downside is he only has 88 speed, but I love my Steve Smith Sr. cards, man. This card is very, very good. Let's quickly actually compare him to who I would drop him for, and that's DeAndre Hopkins. So you can see DeAndre Hopkins has a slight speed advantage, but I actually have 90 speed for DeAndre Hopkins because of the most feared thing. They have the same catching. He's got better elusiveness. Hopkins has him beat in spec catch and a little bit in release and slightly in route running, but to be honest, with the chemistry Steve Smith would have, they'd probably have the same route running. Steve Smith has one better catch and traffic, but I think DeAndre Hopkins actually has better catch and traffic too because of the most feared stuff. And but as far as like the boosts, I will have chain mover, so he'll have +1 catching, and then slot expert, he'll have +1 catching, +1 catch and traffic, and +1 route running. So he'd be the same with him as far as that. Yeah, overall this card is pretty good, to be completely honest. But one thing that's super glitchy about this card is the blocking. You guys can see he has 65 run block. Pretty freaking good. I mean, that's like 20 more, actually 20 more run blocking over DeAndre Hopkins. He's also got a beastly stiff arm, like he always does. A 90 stiff arm. This man's got the stiff arm of dreams, to be completely honest. No one throws a better stiffy than Steve Smith Sr. at the receiver position, to be completely honest. He also got 92 stamina, which looks pretty good. So overall, this card is very, very good. The only downside is his speed is a little bit on the lower side. I always feel like Steve Smith is a pretty quick guy in real life, but they always stiff him a little bit as far as his speed. In this game, for some reason, I don't really know. I wonder what his acceleration is. I gotta scroll all the way back to the top. And the fact that he's only 5'9" is a little bit rough as well. It makes me wish he was just a running back. And only 87 acceleration, but overall, you know, I love Steve Smith cards. This is definitely a go-to guy. He only takes a 33 cap hit too, because he has pretty low speed and pretty low acceleration. So 33 cap hit for 91 overall receiver is a pretty decent wage, I would say. And also, don't forget, on Sunday, every Sunday, we have the Elite Recap. Now, this is definitely something that you guys want to do. They're pretty easy. They're supposed to be like the hard challenges all day, but I feel like the Elite Recap is probably one of the easier ones to do. So don't wait on this, because they only come around once a week, just like the other ones. So I would keep suggesting getting those milestone duns, because you guys can see they release good ones all the time. So definitely be doing that. And also, you got to keep in mind that it's actually the 27th, and the next Man of the Month cards are going to be coming out probably sometime around next week. So you want to be able to have those milestone collectibles done to be able to do some Man of the Month or Hero, Man of the Month, Man of the Month collectibles. That way you could get some of their milestones done, make some coins on that, and then everyone's happy. Now, I'm not too sure if anyone knows who the Man of the Month is for next month yet. If you guys do know, I'm sure it's a little bit early yet, but if anyone knows, definitely leave it in the comments below to help out everyone else. But that's all I have for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you guys did, definitely give it a like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. It's going to be down in the description below, and as always, peace.